All right. Take two.
Good evening, everyone. Take two. Guys, I'm sorry. I think we might have done one previously with no sound. We had a power outage today, so it's thrown away a bit of the technology. But guys, tonight we're going to be talking about good or bad to work through the Christmas and New Year period. So we're going to talk about all the pros and cons of it. Stay tuned.
Oh, you said stay tuned too quickly.
We've got the intro coming.
Stay tuned.
Good evening, Billy.
Hey.
I hope everyone can hear us loud and clear this time.
Please comment if you can't hear us.
Yes, please do. Guys, tonight we're going to be talking about working over the Christmas period, something especially relevant, obviously only 2 weeks now till Christmas. Yes, we can hear us.
Oh, Captain.
So guys, tonight we're going to be speaking about during that Christmas and New Year period as an agent, a lot of agents go away on holidays. And I guess the common, thought process behind a lot of people at the moment is nothing happens with real estate over the Christmas period.
That's right. We're here to break the myth.
Yes, break the myth. So guys, we are available over the Christmas and New Year period. Even on public holidays, we're still contactable. We're working all the way through. And I guess the big misconception with real estate is that absolutely nothing happens during that time. Yeah. Agents always seem to launch their properties in the new year. January 15th or just after Australia Day seems to be the two big dates when a lot of agents launch their property. But Billy, is that the best time to launch a property because that's when every buyer is now all of a sudden looking, or is there something else behind it?
Well, I think there definitely is something else behind it. And don't get me wrong, everyone loves a holiday, but to shut down the whole office where everyone goes on the same 3-week vacation is just not quite practical. And it's not I guess it's the only people that hurt from this are the clients.
Correct.
And people that really essentially need to sell over that period. So yeah, we're going to touch on that a little bit more. I think the reason behind the why is it's a convenient time to take the holiday, but to do it all as a whole office is not great timing.
Correct. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like as agents, it's not a bad thing to take holidays. Of course, we're normal people too, and we want to take holidays also. But it's more about just understanding what your clients' needs are. And the truth of it is, over that Christmas and New Year period, it's still very, very busy. Yeah. So from a real estate perspective, to still have people on the ground, maybe they take holidays at another point in the year, but to still be there transacting property, listing and selling property, I think is absolutely crucial in terms of, like you said, for the clients, people are still there wanting to make transactions.
Yeah. Now, in our muted version, we talked about why the Christmas period is so busy for us. I think it's a great period where there's so many people visiting the beaches, whether it be to see friends or family or even on a holiday. And so whilst they've got the time on holiday, they're looking what's on the market for rents and sale whilst they're in the area. And you can imagine the beaches attracts a lot of people over that festive period.
And even with people that have gone away as well, what you'll find is on realestate.com and Domain, they report the highest amount of views over that December-January period. And for one simple reason, people have got time. So whilst people are away, they're looking on realestate.com, they're looking on Domain, they're looking on Facebook, they're looking everywhere, just scrolling through, looking at properties, going, oh, what are we thinking we might want to do next year? Yeah. So for all those people that are just starting to start in that thought process, to have that exposure is absolutely massive. Yeah. And then the second part on the back of that is there's a lot of buyers that we're speaking to out in the marketplace at the moment that their pre-approval is about to lapse. So guys, to give you a bit of context, as a buyer, when you go out to go buy a property, you get your pre-approval from your bank, from your lender. And traditionally that normally will last for a period of 3 months. Now, with interest rates constantly going up, that affects people's ability to borrow property and borrow money for property. And especially next year, if the interest rates continue to go up, or what might happen. Yes. A lot of people, if you take a whole month now off looking, you've lost a whole month's worth, 1/3 of that potential time when you had your pre-approval. So what we're finding now is a lot of people wanting to make that transaction now before Christmas and even during that Christmas period to ensure it whilst they still have that pre-approval.
There's definitely some urgency there. We're seeing buyers now, particularly where they do not want to go back to the banks for another reassessment of their lending capacity, because it won't do them any favors. As Lisa mentioned, vendors that have already been on the market for 3 or 4 weeks really don't want to be waiting to come back in.
Exactly. It's unfair if you've been on the market for such a long time, all of a sudden the agent goes, sorry, we're going to close up shop, we'll see you next month. Then
especially when you're competing with all of the new stock coming on the other side of the year.
Correct.
So no, it is still a good time to be listing and beat the crowds to it, because you can take advantage of some of the buyers that are really ready to go and are keen to transact over the period, before they have to worry about all the other stock as well.
And we're seeing it represented in the numbers as well. Like, to give you guys a little bit of context, in what's meant to be a downturn market, a very cold market, compared to a couple of months ago, we have been inundated with our open homes. Previously, to give you guys a bit of context, we might have been getting between 2 to 5 groups through open homes. Pretty much every open home now, we're getting between 10 to 15 groups.
They're all double digits.
All double digits. So literally the buyer numbers have doubled. And the proof's in the pudding a little bit, in terms of we're not the ones that dictate whether the market's going up, down or sideways. It's the buyers. It's you guys that dictate it. And right now, everyone's saying, I want to go out, I want to look at a property to buy.
Yeah.
And it only seems to just be getting busier leading up to this Christmas time.
Now, I've got a question for an experienced agent like yourself, Mr.
Yes.
SILJIC.
Fire away.
When we're operating in a 4-week period where your broker's gone on holiday, you've got no solicitor because he's gone on holiday, and maybe even half of the real estate agents are not in town, how do you still buy a property if you find something you really like?
Yeah, great question. So as a buyer, and like you said, a lot of buyers will sometimes, and probably to their detriment, throw in the towel over this Christmas period. Just they go, everyone's away, I'll just wait till New Year, see what happens. As opposed to a savvy buyer will look now, go, this is a great time to pick up a property as well. There's vendors maybe on the market that do want to sell. There's opportunities out there. And as a buyer, you can definitely still buy property over this Christmas period. So to give you guys a little bit of context, we've been, as an office, we're open always over this Christmas period. I've worked many Christmas period over the past few years. And I've done lots of transactions over that time between even Christmas and New Year's. And what I've found to be very successful is, when everyone's away on holiday, you as a buyer can still put forward an offer, we can still negotiate on a property. And if we get to a level of offer and acceptance, you can always exchange with a longer cooling off period and negotiate, let's say, for example, a 10 business day cooling off period compared to the standard 5 business day. Exchange on the contract. It means you as a buyer know that you've got the property locked in, it's in your hands, you've just put down that 0.25% deposit, you've secured it. Now, 10 business days over a Christmas period means there's a lot of public holidays.
Yes.
It's more like almost close to a 3-week cooling off period.
Pushes out.
And then that pushes it out to when your solicitor's back as well. So, and then that way they can negotiate the contract for you prior to you going unconditional.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a good question to be asking, whether you're buying or selling. If you're thinking you're going to need a solicitor, probably even over the next 2 months, just ask if they're taking any time off. And if you need a second recommendation, we've got a couple of contacts that
we do, because most solicitors are on holiday. Lisa was asking us solicitors around, and the truth is there are definitely still some solicitors out there that, just like real estate agents, are still there wanting to do business and are available during that time, where the majority of them do take the time off. So definitely you can transact during that period. And I just think it's a real sweet spot. As I said, for buyers, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there, and for vendors to take that advantage when all the new stock is going to be launching January 15th, launching in January, just after Australia Day. Why would you wait for all the competition when you have the ability to, whilst people have the time, people looking at property, get on now, especially when your agent's available?
Absolutely. Most people have actually got it out of their system as well. Think about it, the borders opened up quite a few months ago. So the people that were desperate to get away have done, and now they're back and they're ready to just fall back into business.
Very true.
I think we've already covered that question there, but absolutely now is a really good time. We've had a really busy selling period coming up to the end of the year,
and it's really nice to see as well, in terms of we've had a lot of transactions over the past few weeks, and prices aren't going up, they're not going down. To be honest with you, right now, the past month and a half, prices have been pretty stable. All the sort of, I guess, negative influences in terms of the talks about interest rates and so forth that are pulling it down have been offset by the fact that there's been a lot more buyers out there as well. And there's always those sort of push and pull forces. And they're sort of keeping it almost pretty much in neutral in line at the moment. And it's nice to see, in terms of, in my opinion, a market that's going drastically up or drastically down very quickly is daunting for someone, whether depending on which side of the transaction you're on, as opposed to a balanced market. That probably benefits everyone more equally because most people are transacting, they're buying and selling in the same market.
Yeah.
And it means you can sort of budget off what you're going to go into next. So it's actually a very much more comfortable time. Days of market are a little bit longer as well now, so you have a bit more time, a bit more flexibility in terms of making a decision.
Yeah.
I just think it's a much better time to buy and sell.
It's a good way to do it. The $0 marketing is a nice slow introduction, especially if you're thinking about going for a full
100%.
campaign in the new year.
Yeah. So,
Take advantage of a slower, more relaxed, I guess, start.
it's a good way, almost like a soft launch for the property.
Yeah.
And also bear in mind, so it's for anyone that doesn't know out there, but I think most people do now, our $0 marketing at Novak, we do a lot over Facebook, we do a lot over Instagram, all the social media platforms. We have a massive, massive database literally across all price ranges. We're very fortunate. We're selling anywhere from $500,000 properties up to tens of $1 million houses. So literally any price point, we've got buyers that are looking for property, both on the social media and on the database. And it's a great time because all the eyeballs are there. When people are sitting down on their holidays, flicking through Facebook, that's the time. And the amount of times we end up doing transactions where it's been a holiday buy. They literally went, we weren't really thinking of buying, but we really love this property. They put down that smaller deposit, like I said before, with a longer cooling off period, and then they've worked it out in the new year.
Yeah.
It happens.
So there's no doubt about it. It is a very good time to be working through the Christmas period. We will be here for a very good reason. There's a great buying opportunity. You'll be, definitely ahead of the rest of the people if you are looking to launch property before, the start of the new year.
Definitely. And guys, also, we're not having a crack at all the agents that are taking holidays over this period. It's more about just looking more holistically. As an agent, it's completely fine to take holidays. But I just think from a business perspective, for people that are there servicing the clients, servicing you guys, the buyers and the vendors, to have people in your team that are there to work during this period there. And then just take time off, maybe another portion of the year, still getting equal time off.
Yeah.
To be able to service all those clients, I just think is a massive win-win. So nothing wrong with agents taking holidays. It's more just thinking smart about it, maybe working out with some of your colleagues in terms of just what's in the best interest of the clients.
That's it. I think it's a fair question to ask, though. When you see everyone else, just going a little bit offline for a while, you probably assume naturally, oh, well, maybe this is normal.
Correct. Exactly. You think it's normal, or like obviously the big, thing that gets thrown around is no one's looking to buy or sell at that time. And it just seems to be a very common thing that I guess is sort of sprayed out there. But in terms of on the ground, I can speak from experience. We do transactions during this time. There are buyers out looking to buy. There are definitely vendors out there looking to sell as well. And I think depending on which side of the fence you're on, there's good opportunities on both sides. So if you're around looking to buy, why would you not take advantage of it? And if you're a seller looking to sell, why not take the advantage before everyone else launches their property in the year?
It's a pretty sick Christmas present.
It's brilliant. Imagine that being exchanged. We did have one actually. It was 3 years ago, exchanged on Christmas Day, but we've done lots around that as well. So yeah, doesn't stop us, guys.
Everyone's happy.
Brilliant. Also, guys, if you have any questions regarding this as well, pop it down in the comments afterwards. I'm happy to answer any questions there. And if you are looking to buy or sell during this time, reach out to us. We're going to be available. We're going to be here on the ground. So let us know.
Thanks, guys. Cheers,
Thanks,
Michael.
guys. Have a good evening.